Who do you think is the most misunderstood in the house and why?
I think it's Imisi.
Interesting.
We're both drastically different from the average person. I share a lot of similarities with her. She sleeps on the couch outside. I sleep on the Amatem bed. She has ruckuses with people. I have ruckuses with people. She's very talented. I'm very smart. Very swaggish. Doesn't mean I like her. I still do not like her. But I don't hate her.
Two housemates do you think secretly don't like each other?
Thelma lost in Midday.
Can you explain further?
Do I have to?
Interesting.
Certain people put up a show. I don't know if they were trying to prove a point, but I would say they were cheap points or like a cheap show.
Dede.
That's
Dede.
Yes, small brother. Big brother doesn't talk to me like that, too. Thank you, small brother.
The house has been so calm. My big brother decides to spice things and switch things up. Oh my goodness. Housemates have decided to be each other's big brother for the diary section. What? First off, I'll talk about Faith. We all know this rocky relationship between Faith and Emissi. And for some funny reason, Kola is actually the big brother for Faith's diary session. Isn't that interesting? What a coincidence. One question that stood out for me throughout this whole diary session was, who is the most misunderstood housemate? And for some funny reason, out of all the housemates, the two names that were mentioned were just Imisi and Faith. Like literally all the housemates were saying Imisi and Faith. Imisi and Faith. And when it was Faith's session, Kola being the big brother for Faith asked Faith, who is the most misunderstood housemate? And Faith said Imisi. In my head, I'm like, huh? You don't say. He actually said something interesting. He said he knows that himself and Imisi share similar attributes because both of them are quite very unique, act differently. They are different from other housemates. And in fact, both of them don't like to sleep on the bed. Imisi likes to sleep outside the house. Imisi likes to sleep outside at the garden. While Faith likes to sleep on the Amatem soft gel couch. Faith said he has had a lot of issue with housemates, same as Imisi. Like it was just going on and on and on. And he said the reason why he feels she's mostly misunderstood is her communication style. How she passes her information, how she communicates, and all of those things. When I thought I've heard it all, Faith now said, even though I still don't like her, but I don't hate her. I'm like, Faith, come on. This guy is something else. And the fact that he's actually speaking to Kola made it even more interesting for me. Faith literally was saying a lot of good things about Imisi, knowing fully well that Kola and Imisi are friends. He now went and said, okay, even though I still don't like her. I'm like, Faith, you say you like drama. You like drama. Interesting. So it is known now that Faith actually does not like Imisi. He has said it with his mouth. He said he does not like Imisi. And I know that this beef is actually very much. Imisi does not like Faith. It's obvious. So Faith saying it with his mouth really, really makes me happy because I've heard a lot of persons saying on my channel that Faith is just angry with Imisi because of how, their friendship was, blah, blah, blah. But seeing that Faith has actually mentioned that he does not like Imisi, that really makes me excited. At least we all know that the beef is very mutual. Faith. But if we are being honest, Faith and Imisi are actually very different. And they've been quite misunderstood in the house. Yeah, I give it to both of them. Moving on, guys. Another interesting one for me. Another interesting session for me was Dede and Ruboy. Ruboy was Dede's big brother. Ruboy was actually the big brother for Dede's session. And for some funny reason, Dede was acting so familiar with Ruboy. She was saying things like, Ogbeni, wrap up, like... In my head, I'm like, girl, do you know that this is actually your real diary session? Dede was just saying plenty things. In fact, it was even calling Ruboy small brother. In my head, I'm like, I know you two have a friendship going on, but come on. Oh my goodness, it was so funny to see that Dede was not taking Ruboy as big brother. She was not taking him serious at all. She was rolling her eyes, smiling, giggling, laughing, interrupting him. I shall big brother will not punish Dede, sha. But anyways, I love the fact that Dede also mentioned that Imisi is one of the most misunderstood housemates because she feels that there's always drama around her. Even though both of them are not close, but she can categorically tell that Imisi is mostly misunderstood. Another interesting question that I totally love how Dede responded was when they asked Dede, what is your take about, the relationship in the house? Do you think they are genuine? Do you think they will thrive outside the house? And she said no. And I love when people are very consistent. Dede has said in the house that she's not there to make friends. And for what is what, she's not going to be close to anybody outside the show. So seeing her say that She does not believe any of the friendship or ship going on is genuine, and she doesn't believe it will thrive outside the house because a lot of them keep taking things they will not ordinarily take outside the house. And that's really true. All these housemates that say, oh, my best friend, my this, my that. For example, Kola and Imisi. I doubt if, even though Kola and Imisi are very close, you know, their friendship is quite interesting, all of those things. I doubt if they'll be very close outside the house. Another one that blew my mind was Kobo. Honestly speaking, sometimes when I listen to Kobo, I don't just understand Kobo. He claims to like Emissi, but the kind of things he say behind Emissi's back sometimes, I'll be like, okay. During the session, one of the questions was, which of the housemates gossip the most in the house? And Kobo said it is Imisi. Imisi is the person that gossip the most. In my head, I'm like, how? How does Imisi gossip the most? I don't think Imisi gossips like that, though. I think she only gists with people that she's comfortable with. If Imisi is alone, you barely see her talking. Anyway, on the flip side, maybe he has a point. Now that Imisi is closer to Sultana and Isabella, maybe it's actually valid. But on a normal ground, I don't think Imisi is the housemate that gossip the most. Anyway, that's Kobo's view. And when they asked him which housemate would you, if you had the opportunity to save one person for possible eviction, who would it be? He also mentioned Imisi. But although Imisi has immunity, so he's going to save Thelma, knowing fully well that Thelma is actually the one interviewing him. I'm like, hey, Bobo, you this guy, you're playing a very serious mind game. Am I the only one that felt the tension between Isabella and Thelma? Isabella was Thelma's big brother today. And oh my goodness, Thelma is spicy, oh, that girl, she knows how to poke. As we all know now, once housemate comes to the diary room, the normal thing is big brother will first ask her question about how are you doing, and Thelma started ranting, talking about how some people are giving cheap highlights, how some people are causing chaos just for the camera. For example, last Thursday, some persons were causing cheap drama, you know, because of her. Like she was literally throwing shade at Isabella. In my head, I'm like, girl, what? Thelma is spicy. She knows that Isabella is actually the one interviewing her. And she was directly saying things about Isabella and Emissi. Saying that some people are just, you know, looking for cheap drama, cheap highlights, blah, blah, blah. Then when they see drinks, they will be acting as if they've never seen drinks. Thelma is troublesome. Oh. T for Thelma. And Isabella could not even care less. Like, she had to throw her face to one angle. She was not even bothered. The tension between these two ladies, only God can help. Another interesting one was Midday and Imisi. Midday picked Imissi's name. So automatically, Midday was Imissi's big brother. And it was so interesting to see that when she picked Imissi's name, she was like, oh, biggie. Like, she was not excited that she picked Imissi's name. Why is it that whenever Midday has an issue with somebody, she will keep stretching that thing? And when she came for her session, Emissi now did something interesting. Midday asked Emissi, which housemates secretly do not like each other? And Emissi said, Thelma, Lawson, and Midday. And Midday was like, huh? What do you mean? Emissi said, Thelma, Lawson, and Midday secretly don't like each other. I'm like, talk your talk. Imagine Midday that was not happy she picked Emissi's name. And Emissi now dropped a bombshell for her. This one is another conversation for the week. I am sure that Midday will talk about this whole conversation till next week. And it's so funny how Imisi did not even explain further. Imisi, giving me another topic of discussion. Housemate had a lot of things to say.
There's gonna be a bright midday thing outside the Big Brother's house. And it's not. We're not running through a script. It's a reality.
And finally, guys, one session that was actually funny to me was Bright and Dede. Dede was Bright's big brother. And when Dede asked about the whole question about relationship, which relationship do you think will thrive outside the house? And Bright's mother mentioned, he believes his friendship with Kola will thrive outside the house. I'm like, Yimu, have you been a good friend to Kola? Have you been a good friend to Kola? Answer the question. Which one is both of you will thrive outside the house? You never thrive inside Big Brother house. Now outside did they look for? And when I thought I've heard it, I now mentioned that Bright and Midday will be a thing outside the house. Whatever they have going on will continue. Irony, we know it's not true. Even this same Bright was having a conversation with Thelma before his diary session, telling Thelma that he's going to go back to his baby girl outside the house. Both of them will have a conversation outside the house to know if she will still accept him or not. Although he mentioned that Midday is such a peaceful girl. She finds so much peace in Midday and all of those things. Writer said it countless times that he's going back to his babe because he genuinely cares about his babe. And in fact, he has a tattoo of his babe on his body. He's just saying it for shippers to, vote for him. But if we're being honest, I don't think this Midday and bright ship will thrive outside the house. So guys, I totally enjoyed Housemate Diary session. If you have opportunity to swap somebody's bed, who will it be? And I love the fact Konyi mentioned Dede. Like, okay, bestie. And he mentioned that he has actually slept on Dede's bed twice. But we never saw that. Camera crew, you are doing the most though. So guys, I totally enjoyed this kind of diary session, and I know that it's going to bring forth a lot of conversation, most especially between Isabella and Thelma, Midday and Imisi. Which one again? Kola and Faith. Because Kola already knows that Faith does not like his best friend. Biggie, now you be cool.